Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Pamela, and you are watching Pam Entertainment TV, where we review movies, television series, and incidents in pop culture to see how those incidents affect our daily lives. Listen, let me get this thing queued up here. We've got a lot of information. If you haven't checked out my earlier video, please do so. It's under my pop culture chat. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. I want to thank all the new people that have subscribed to me. But tell a friend, tell a kin, tell that heifer you can't stand that I'm over here making these videos, child. And we will get into this. I'm going to share my screen. Let's see. Let's get over here. All right. I probably want to be a little smaller. There we go. So, what are we talking about today? We're going to go over the Rolling Stones article that was published yesterday at about 4:20 p.m. So I hadn't seen it, and it was by Miss Cheyenne Roundtree. It says Jonathan Majors, London police confirm ongoing inquiry into physical assault accusations. So we're going to go over now. You remember, go check out more of my videos in regards to Jonathan Majors. I may just put Jonathan Majors information in its own playlist instead of within the pop culture playlist. But we knew back in, if you went over my information about the legal information about Jonathan Majors, we found out that the initial charging arrest was dismissed and a new charging affidavit was filed by Ms. Grace Jabari on the 5th of May. We also found out prior, excuse me, that in June, that Jonathan Majors had filed a cross complaint against Ms. Jabari. And if you go back to that video, there was a section on that video where that we talked about the complaint itself, and that appeared to be as it was described by Laureate Italiano, that there was like this drop box and it asked them, uh, in the past 6 months, has things escalated? And he said, yes. And then it was like, do you feel like she will harm your children? And he said, yes. And then there was another question about, do you feel like she's jealous of you and something, something? And he said, yes. And when he filed that, he did mention that there was an incident in London. So Jonathan Majors told us that back in June. So this is not a dun 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 type of moment, but I do want to go over it because there is some interesting information that I'd like to just kind of point out. So let's get to it. Let's get to it. Let's see if we can make this a little. Ooh, don't want to do anything to a picture. Right. Police in London have confirmed to Rolling Stones that there is an ongoing investigation into a report of quote unquote physical abuse leveled against Jonathan Majors amid his domestic violence case. The 34-year-old is facing criminal charges in New York, and we know this. But let's go over this. Last week, the district attorney's office filed a 115-page response to Major's legal team's bid to dismiss the case, in which the prosecution disclosed they had obtained a police report. Now, last week, they were in the process of getting the police report. In this report, they said that they have obtained a police report prepared by London's Metropolitan Police that they deemed relevant to their case. Prosecutors noted that they had obtained medical records stemming from a previous unreported incident from September 2022. Okay, so what does this mean? So there is a police report, uh, and that there's medical records stemming from. I'm not sure if those are the two same things, but there's supposed to be medical records. Now, Met Police have confirmed to Rolling Stone that there is an ongoing investigation into the police report, which refers to allegations of physical assault that were said to have taken place at a London area address in September 2022. Inquiries are ongoing. No arrests have been made. A Met Police spokesperson said in a statement. I don't know why Rolling Stones never get these people's names. It's because that's important. Who said what? Just to say a spokesperson, I mean, I can tell you that I'm a spokesperson, but I really would love for them to get names of stuff. Per policy, authorities in London do not confirm names of those involved in an investigation. A Metropolitan Police spokesperson declined to comment on any case until a person is charged with an offense. So we don't know who was charged in this offense. We know the only thing that they're reporting to us is that Jonathan Majors was at this residence, but they're not reporting whether or not that he was in response to that. And they're also not reporting about who was going to be charged because the police have not, they're still doing inquiries on it. So there's a police report, according to them, in this 115-page response, but we don't have any information about who was hurt or who was not hurt. So that information may come out in trial. And from what I understand, that information can only come out in trial if the defense allows for it to come out. And so, what do I mean? Because this case is about what happened on March 25th, not what happened on September 2022. I'm not discounting or I'm not including anything. I'm just saying that Mr. Majors has been charged for incidents that allegedly happened on March 25th. So unless the prosecution can't enter that information in, unless it's something about prior bad acts, but if the defense attorney is a good defense attorney, they're going to stick to what happened on that date, and they're not going to allow for prior information, and particularly when there's nobody been charged with that offense. And that's important to note. It's the latest blow for Majors, who lost another bid last week to dismiss the criminal case against him. Last week, Searchlight Pictures postponed the December release of Magazine Dreams, uh, Major's film about a bodybuilder with violent fantasy. A spokesperson for the studio told Rolling Stones that an updated release had not been set. And you also know that that studio is also run by Disney. And Disney did report that there are several different movies and series that they're not going to put on the schedule as of yet. So we don't know if they're going to ever, if this is something that's going to be permanently released or they're just going to release it at a later date. On Wednesday, Variety reported that Marvel executives are rethinking Major's place within the Marvel Cinematic Universe in light of his arrest and accusations of domestic violence. Again, they've mentioned multiple women are said to be cooperating with the DA's office, and Rolling Stones reported in June that Majors was physically and emotionally abusive with two previous romantic partners, which have not come out. And if you read that article, they did not talk with those people. It was something. It was third-party information. Again, I'm not saying it did, or I'm not saying it didn't happen. What I'm saying is that Rolling Stones didn't talk to those people directly. Majors currently plays the multiverse villain Kang the Conqueror, who appeared in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania and the Disney Plus spinoff series Loki. All right. It says here, but the studio is reportedly thinking about recasting Majors or pivoting entirely into a new direction. And that was the video that I did earlier, that apparently the Disney execs met in September. And because that court case hadn't been dismissed and he is now going into trial in November, that they possibly will rethink it because of the fact that they're supposed to be shooting the first part of this year. So we got that. Throughout the ensuing criminal matter, Majors has maintained his innocence, and his attorney Priya Chaudhry has claimed the case is a witch hunt, implying that there is racial bias. In June, uh, Majors filed his own counter police reports against the woman, claiming she attacked him and left him bloody. However, prosecutors say in their latest filing that while they are aware of Mr. Major's police report and the NYPD's iCard, they will not be pursuing charges against the woman. A thorough investigation was conducted into the facts of this case, and in doing so, the people have chosen to prosecute Jonathan Majors. All right, so we got that. I think that's the end of it. So that's the new. I thought it was going to be, there was going to be some. I'm going to stop sharing my screen just a second. I thought that there was going to be some bombshell information, but this is information that we had already had. And this is information that was, again, reported by Rolling Stone, but this was also information that we received that was reported by the insider in Laura Italiano's information in regards to when Jonathan Majors filed this counterclaim. But what do you all think about what's going on? I wanted to read that Rolling Stone's article, because again, I told you all that I would report all the information that come out there and allow for you all to make a decision on what you feel about with the information reported. So what do you think? So what they have reiterated that there are other victims cooperating with the prosecution's office. However, they have not filed any charges in regards to that. Number one, I don't know if they're still gathering information. Number two, I don't know when these offenses were supposed to have happened, because there are statutes of limitations on certain offenses. And number three, we don't know if the victims have anything to do with this particular case or not, because as far as we know, there's only one reported victim in this case that happened on March 25th. So that's what we are going to stick with until such there are charges filed for those other cases, if they're going to be charges filed for those other cases. So let me know. Let me know. Closer to the time that the hearing is going to come out, I am in the process of trying to get a small panel together so that we can talk about this case. I'd like to talk about it from a few sides, from a social media influencer side, from uh, what we think the prosecution is going to talk about, what we think the defense is going to talk about, and what type of jury that would need to be compiled for this case. Is there going to be a jury? Because I know that sometimes you can have bench trials where the judge will be the jury. Will they take that option, or what will have you? Or do you think that there will be a plea deal ensued? Let me know what you all think. So it's going to be closer to the trial. I think the trial is scheduled for November 28th. So it'll probably be a few days before then. And we'll out, I'm in the process. I've got a few yeses from uh, a couple of people, a few people actually, who are YouTubers who are covering and following this case. So we'll talk about this, and I'll let you all know as soon as it gets closer to the time, making sure that everyone can meet at the time that we schedule. It'll probably be a video no more than an hour and a half, unless it gets spicy and we just need to go on. But we'll just go over and we'll meet with that, and it'll be probably in the next couple of weeks. All right, people. We do this every week. Every week. Please make sure that you like and you comment on this video. Tell me what you all think of this information. Is it new information? Is it information that you've heard? Has it swayed your opinion to yes that he did it, to no that he did it? Are you interested in what's in this London report? Do you think that there will be some bombshells in this report? What does this report have to do with the March 25th incident? Y'all let me know. Let me know what you're thinking, okay? And as always, people, bye bye.